Welcome everybody to the first Xbox Gamers podcast, and we have with us today ElvenBlossom, Jordan Drury, myself, McCorminator, and special guest Microbox of X from We Game Here. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
Now, let's get down with the first topic of a subject, and the first thing I want to discuss is the whole thing with Xbox 360 dying possibly this year, next year, whatever. It's a big thing that's discussed in the group, so I think we should cover it.
Can't we just stick a pillow over its head and suffocate it? It gets the job done faster.
I'm glad you brought this up because I actually had this down as one of my topics, so that's... Oh dear, we just start. I've actually done a video already on it this week. I think it's time it was put to bed, and I think it's holding back the systems. It is. It's holding back the next gen games.
Can we leave Destiny with it?
Yes.
We can send Destiny to the PS2 if we want.
No, it's. You can understand them sort of supporting it for 1, maybe 2 years. And it is unprecedented, the lifespan of the Xbox 360 console. I mean, it's lasted for so long. But yeah, my personal opinion now is it's just holding back development of games for the Xbox One now. And I think it's time that it just went.
And the price tag of the Xbox One's gone down considerably since launch.
Yep.
Yeah, what is it now? It's 250, is it now?
Oh, well, I'm looking at this. Is this the cheapest Xbox One yet? Give me a second, I'll actually... Hey, it doesn't actually tell you the price. Clickbait.
But I agree with you, Michael. It is holding back the system, especially with the multi-platform games. You know.
Yeah. I mean, they're still using old engines from the Xbox 360 games and just sort of upscaling them, as I suppose is the best way to put it. But I mean, you've got the big games coming this year, like Arkham Knight, and they've just announced. You know, I mean, that game's going to be incredible. They've just announced that Gears of War isn't coming to the Xbox 360. You've also got Battlefront now has been confirmed as next gen only.
I can't wait for that.
They're all great games. Yeah, exactly. These are going to be just such big, great games, and they're only going to be developed for the next-gen consoles, and that's how it should be. There's too many games coming out at the moment. Battlefield Hardline's a good example. It's a great game, but graphically it's been held back because of the cross-gen
there we go.
development.
£255 for the white Xbox One with Sunset Overdrive included.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's the 1 gig version as well, isn't it?
The 1 terabyte.
Yeah, sorry, 1 gig. What am I talking about? 1 terabyte.
Well, you to stick a demo on that one.
You can watch up the startup screen.
And then the obvious thing next comes into question is November's Call of Duty. It's not been announced yet. It's not been announced yet, but will it be on 360? Or are they going to do the same with what they did with Advanced Warfare and hand it off to a third party and dial it down? Or is it going to be purely next gen?
Can it not be any gen? I mean, like, no gen at all?
No gen at all. No genital. You said you weren't going to mention genitals.
I never mentioned genitals.
I think knowing them, knowing the developer, knowing that you will see it on 360, no doubt.
Yeah, which is going to be a shame because it's definitely one game that you could put the 360 to bed with.
Yeah.
Like, love it or hate it, it's immensely popular.
Yeah, it's hugely popular.
Well, the last big title that's coming to 360 is probably the new Tomb Raider, isn't it?
I don't know, to be honest. I'll be honest with you now. I know I'm the head of the Xbox gamers and everything, but I honestly, and I say this lightly, I couldn't give a flying shite about the 360 anymore.
The only games what are going to be coming out is what's already in development right now, or already been in development for a few years. No. It's
The 360 was a brilliant console, but it's had its time.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
The future is now.
Yeah, I mean, it's had an unprecedented lifespan. I mean, there's never been a console that's lasted that long, and is still so supported.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's the problem, because a lot of the new generation of gamers haven't seen previous generations of console like we have, and they haven't seen that the speed of these consoles get dropped. But and now people, I mean, I've had it with the video I put up this week. People have been agreeing with me, but you've had the odd few that have come on and said, no, they've got to support it. They've got to support it. And
You can understand where they're coming from, because in their eyes, as long as you're paying your Xbox Live subscription, what can they do? Do you know?
yeah,
Mark?
yeah.
I
Aye?
promised I wouldn't go off topic. I won't mention genitals, but I have to say this one thing for 5 seconds. Woman needs 250 stitches after water park fountain rips her vagina. Ow!
I'm not even going to comment on that. But anyway, move on to the next topic. And this kind of ties into the 360 as well, because it's a big one. It's the games with gold. And I know they're free, but I kind of getting pissed off that we're only getting shitty fucking indie games, and the 360 is getting 4 AAA titles. You know, I understand that. I understand that the 360 is dying, and this could be we're turning the 360 off soon. So here, have these. Doesn't matter anymore. But I didn't buy a next generation console to pay indie games. Do you know?
Well, I can my hand and give that away, but it doesn't mean people want it.
I would have known the group's been a bit strange lately, so.
Well,
I think the problem you've got at the moment, I mean, you've got a console that's only been out 18 months now, is it? It's got to be getting on for 18 months.
yeah.
There isn't a massive back catalogue of games that they could give away, really. I think we're getting to the. I think we're getting to the point now where we could start looking. I mean, they put Rayman Legends up recently, which wasn't an indie title. So we're on the right, we're on the right course. But I mean, what we've got to remember is, I mean, even with these indie games that they're giving away at the moment, I mean, they give Child of Light away this month. I mean, there's still a lot of time and a lot of development have gone into these games.
I understand that.
Yeah, but and of course the developers are obviously losing money from all the time that this, this game is on Games for Gold. So I can understand people's thoughts on this, but obviously the 360 has been out for as long as it has, so it's got a huge back catalogue of games to give away. As far as the Xbox One's concerned, I'd rather see the money put into the development of the system, if you know what I mean, as opposed to paying for games for us to have on the Games for Gold. But,
I've got this feeling that they're going to give away like Forza 5 at E3 with the announcement of Forza 6, because with the microtransactions, it's still a way to make income, even if they give it away for free. And as you've seen with the past 2 E3s, every Forza announcement has been accompanied by a free giveaway.
That's right.
Yeah, well, they should focus on games that are like good standalone but very DLC heavy. Like, for example, Battlefield 4. That'd be the perfect game to give away, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they don't need to because of the EA access.
Yeah.
So pretty much, I mean, you'd be fairly slow-minded not to have EA access if you have an Xbox One. I mean, it's a fantastic deal.
Yeah. I mean, EA access is a no-brainer. I think if you've got an Xbox, you've got to pay the £20 to have that for a year. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
What's £20 a year? I mean, come on.
Exactly. For what you're getting, for the returns. I mean, I've probably got that money back in savings already with my 10% discount off all my purchases.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, they could give away Call of Duty Ghosts, but I don't think anyone will want that either.
No, I don't think anybody would. Call of Duty Ghosts was terrible. A terrible game. My honest gut feeling with Games for Gold, I think the first big title you might see go on there is Rise and a Run. I think that's going to be the first one.
Oh, I love that game.
It's such a great game, and it was overlooked. Yeah, I mean,
I'll be happy with that because it's one of those games that everyone says, "Oh, it's a great game," but it's really short. So I don't really want to go out and buy it at full price, you know.
Yeah.
So if it comes free, I'll be happy with that because I'll get to play it. Or if it comes on a sale, like, I mean, they've got mega sales on right now. What is 75% off Lego Marvel Superheroes? That's brilliant. Like, so we'll see what holds. But anyway, we'll move on to the next topic. And God, me, I've forgotten. No. It's, where do we see the Xbox in the future?
Ooh. Hopefully not gathering dust. People, clean your Xboxes. The problems you have are caused by yourself.
I feel like we should have a support advert. You know, like the RSPCA is for Xbox. Is your Xbox on yours?
The thing I don't get, right? My Xbox is in a cupboard, right? And it's got one tiny little hole at the back for the wires to go out. And the cupboard closes, like sealed. And then every time I go to like clean it out, the top of the Xbox is covered in dust. I don't get it.
They attract it. They do attract the dust. And it's black as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah, well, as I said... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
As I said, Mark, last year I predicted that Xbox would be going cross-platform with PC and an application would be released to stream the games on PC. I'm still waiting, and I hope and I think in the future there will be a Steam app on PS4 and Xbox One that will allow you to stream your Steam library onto
it's possible.
The console.
I can see that's a possibility, yeah. I didn't even consider PlayStation, to be honest, when I was thinking about Steam. I mean, there's no reason why it wouldn't. Although the Xbox One is probably an easier system to put it on, certainly with Windows 10. It's going to make it a lot easier. I can certainly see it coming to Xbox One. I'm not so sure about PlayStation, but and they might surprise us. But it's hard to say where the system's going. I mean, when you look at the 360 and look at where that went in the lifespan, when you look at the console you got at launch to the console that we've got now, it's a completely
if you compared them
different.
Launch to what it is now, launch would look like a pile of crap. It was terrible at launch. It really was. It was horrid at launch.
Yeah, I mean the UI. I mean the dash was usable, but it wasn't brilliant.
No.
But the trouble is the system. That was the biggest thing that I had with the 360. Obviously, with the advent of different dashboards, it started sort of slowing it down a little bit because it was so. There was obviously so much more on the dashboard than there used to be.
Yeah.
So that did slow down. But graphically, they were rinsing that machine right up until even this year. GTA 5 was incredible.
I still think today GTA 5 is the best looking game on 360. No, I don't think they can. I don't think the system. Any game comes out on that system can't top that.
Well, I mean, even a few games that are like a few years old. I mean, I banged in Red Dead Redemption the other day. I couldn't believe how good that game looked still.
Yeah.
To do with games, though, I think the future of Xbox One has a lot to do with MMOs. And you can see that it's already apparent with the amount that are releasing already.
Yeah.
We've got Neverwinter, we've got Elder Scrolls Online, we've got Omnigiri coming out sometime this year as a port from, I think it's either China or Japan.
Obviously, Smite as well.
Yeah, Smite.
I'm loving that game at the minute.
Yeah, that's it's not an MMO though, Smite, is it?
Is it not?
MOBA.
No, it's a MOBA.
Oh, see that? There you go.
Now you're out of my league. No, I have no idea what a fucking MOBA is.
You can tell I'm big into those ones.
Yeah, you like it though, Mark, because you get to play as gods fighting each other. It's actually a really fun game. I played it on the PC.
Can I be Thor?
Yes. Yes, you
well,
can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sold. If I get to swing a big hammer around, I'm happy.
I was still keeping my fingers crossed for DC Universe. You know, as I said earlier, I mean, SOE now have gone on their own. I do hope that we see either a remake of that for the Xbox One or possibly even a sequel. A sequel's not out of question.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy the first one, to be honest. Yeah.
I think with those sort of games, you either love them or hate them. I mean, I'm not big into that style of game anyway, but I'm a big DC fan, so I'm in the point
the other
of playing
side.
it.
I'm a big Marvel fan. So.
I don't like the gameplay, but at least I'm fucking Batman.
But that new Batman now, it really looks incredible.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not like Arkham City. See, Arkham City was brilliant. It was fantastic. But once you finished it, we were kind of like, well, what now? You know?
Yeah. Well, you
I hope it has a lot. I just hope it has a lot more content.
Yeah. I would like it if there's a lot more random events while just patrolling, basically, on your way to objectives and in free mode when the game's finished.
Aye. But let's move on to the last topic I want to discuss before we move on to any topics you guys have brought. And this is the big one. Halo 5. What are we thinking about that? I mean, those last two trailers have left some big doors open and some really, really big questions unanswered.
Yeah, well, I think that that's the reason it's meant to stir up this discussion, this debate of, and as you see, it's Team Lock or Team Chief, but I don't think we're going to actually have to choose. I think it's going to be like some conspiracy from Oni or someone leading Lock astray to believe that Master Chief's the traitor. I think eventually they'll figure it out and go after the real traitor.
Yeah.
They might be working parallel to each other throughout the entire game until that moment. You know what I mean?
Like you stated though, Miley. I just hope that they don't make you pull the trigger on the Chief, because, like you said, I won't do it.
Oh no, I'll just
turn
pull
the
the
fucking
out and
turn the fucking game off.
I'll just go make up my own ending.
I don't care if it gives me 1,000 gamer score. I'm not fucking doing it.
I'll get myself some plasticine and just, I'll make myself a little Chief and a little Lock, and I'll kick the shit out of Lock.
I'm just looking forward to E3 on that one, because they're obviously they've got to show some gameplay.
Yeah.
And I just think, I mean, from the little snippets that we've seen, it just looks incredible.
What I really want to know is that teaser they released a couple of weeks ago, where it was just the sniper bullet with the word traitor on it smashing into the Chief's helmet. I mean, you kind of left dumbstruck when you watch that thing. Wait, what's going on?
Yep. Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the target audience, us gamers, the self-advertise it, basically, by discussing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because whether you love it or hate it, we're talking about it.
Well, I love Halo. Halo is what got me into FPS shooters.
What I'm hoping, though, is that since Joe Staten and Marty O'Donnell are no longer part of Bungie, I know that Joe Staten works at Microsoft again. I hope they had the smarts to put him on the story and hopefully try to bring Marty O'Donnell in for the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music on the last few Heroes was just spot on.
Yeah, it is. And you play Destiny, right? And you can hear that one piece of music Mario O'Donnell done. It's, when you're fighting the Cabal, it's like dun 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 dun. It's awesome. That's probably the one part of that game I enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing with Halo though, was it had a great story, it had great gameplay, but it also had a great soundtrack. It's such a it's one of those things you can just hear a snippet of it and you know instantly it's Halo. You know it's from that universe.
The only problem I ever had with Halo is the multiplayer after 3. Like, I still bought the games to play the stories.
Yeah.
But after 3, it didn't seem the same. And with 4, I mean, that was like trying to go too much like Call of Duty. They did a good job with some things, like the sprinting and everything like that, it really feels good. It's like with Halo 5 on the beta, it feels like they took Halo 3 and the best bits of Halo 4, merged them together, and it just feels right. So I'm looking forward to that.
When the first Halo was out, it was heavily inspired by Quake. You can see like everyone's the same. Everyone's got the same reward.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Pretty much every FPS game out there came from Quake.
But then they're trying to make it like ElvenBlossom says, like Call of Duty, where it's all based on a ranking system, not your actual skill.
Yeah. That's what it should be. It should be like Halo 3. It's based on a ranking system. And if you were good enough, you could advance in that ranking system. But not like Halo 4's multiplayer. I thought Halo 4's multiplayer was terrible, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I just wasn't feeling the groove of it like I did with Halo 3.
I think it was their bid to try and get all the new kid gamers that are all into the Call of Duty. But they failed drastically because they kind of really, pissed off their existing audience. They needed to find the right balance.
It's actually another thing I wanted to discuss is that you see games now and they seem to be getting more and more childish.
Yeah, too simplified.
Yeah.
It's like where they're babying us like we can't handle complexity because we're on a console.
Yeah.
They have got easier. I mean, it's the same as the Call of Duties. They've got easier. I mean,
anyone's
getting easier.
Yeah, anyone that can pick up Call of Duty, never played an FPS before, and a couple of hours later they've completed it on veteran.
Yeah. I mean, Call of Duty 4 took me ages to finish on veteran because
that game actually took skill.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, I mean, if you didn't push forwards, they were constantly respawning, and of course that doesn't happen on the new ones.
No.
I mean, I remember I don't know if, do you guys remember the last section of Modern Warfare? It was the bit on the aircraft.
Yeah.
You had about a minute to get through that. On veteran, it was a nightmare. It took me about 2 days solid. To do that. It was, and you haven't got that anymore. They are very easy now.
Yeah.
And there's still some challenge there, obviously. I mean, there's still some challenge there, but they have got easier.
Well, I wrote a piece on Facebook, didn't I, about why I think Call of Duty started to suck. They have too much going on at once, and they've brought the complexity right down. It used to be a slower paced game, more tactical. There was none of this see-through wall target track crap. It actually took skill to play. Now it's you're playing the game with your hand held by the developers, and
it used to be more like Battlefield.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You've got all these people like in the group and everything. They'll be going, "Oh, but MLG." Well, MLG can't be really that good, if they need to have their hands held by the developers.
Yeah, but you see, the thing with MLG is that they all use the fucking controller enhancements, like the things that go under the thumbsticks and everything, to more precise and everything.
Yeah, my only thing to that is remove them if you can't play with a standard controller how it's meant to be played. Don't play it at all. Get good.
That's it. That's my personal opinion. You can't be that good if you need assistance on your controller.
Exactly. You're already getting your hand held by the developers on the game. You need more? Might as well just take yourself into File Factory and get...
That was...
What do you guys actually can do?
I'll have to make sure I can find a bleep sound for that.
I could audio log one. Boop. See, when he says it's getting easier, this is why I think games like Dark Souls is really good for like, games. Like, death still matters. You're not... Like, if you die in any other game, like, the developer just picks you up and pats you on the back and it's, go and get him, boy.
Well, that's it.
We'll make it easier this time.
That's the way it is. Because
I think like games like Dark Souls, I love the difficulty of them. The only thing, to me, that is the draw to it is that, because there doesn't seem to be any story, so that's the thing that makes me avoid them. Mm-hmm. Because although you've got the difficulty, you still need to be able to have a decent story that captivates and, immerses the player. Not just difficulty for difficulty's sake. Yeah, but Destiny is basically just a story. Literally, the story trailer from 2013 has every bit of the story in the trailer.
In the trailer, yeah. I just the trouble I had with Destiny was I just found it too repetitive. You know, if you compare it to a game like Borderlands, I mean they're very similar in their sort of game, but at least with Borderlands you constantly were pushing forward, you were constantly in different areas, you were seeing different things. But with Destiny you always seem to be in the same area doing the same things over and over again, and it just got boring to play. It was just too repetitive in the same area.
Yeah, and then there's the PvP, which is just utter shite.
And the thing that really grinds my gears is it's not an MMO. 16-player instances is not an MMO. You might as well call Battlefield an MMO. I mean, that's a good 64.
Oh, 64, yeah.
Technically 66 if you add the commandos.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I've got my fingers crossed for the new Rainbow Six. If they can take that back to Black Arrow and the original Rainbow Six Rainbow Six 3, if they can get that sort of game mechanic, but just with updated graphics and a few little tweaks here and there, they could have probably the best shooter we've had for a long time. But they sort of went off key when they brought out Lockdown, was it? I think it was Lockdown. They changed the gaming mechanics a little bit and it went a little bit downhill. And then when they brought Vegas, it completely changed. You had all that sort of going into the third person, looking around corners and things like that. That ruined it. But if they can get that back to how it was, I think Call of Duty and even Battlefield could have a run for the money with that game. I think a lot of the hardcore shooter fans are going to go back to that. I think if they get it right.
I actually enjoyed Rainbow Six Vegas 1. Just 2, not so much.
It was a good game, but it was just very different to the original Rainbows. The original Rainbows were real hardcore shooting games, and there was no, there was a lean. You could lean around a corner, but you couldn't actually go into like a third-person view and get an advantage on people like that.
Yeah, that's one thing I never liked. I wished it would stay in first-person consistently.
Yeah. I mean, if you stick your head out the corner, you're going to get shot at, But I mean, if you do it when you're in a third-person mode and you go into sort of an outside and you can blind fire practically, that sort of takes a little bit of the strategy and it takes the skill out of it a little bit. And I think that's a problem that Call of Duty and Destiny, all those other shooting games they've got at the moment, is they're just not. There's no real hardcore shooters at the moment, and not even Battlefield, I don't think.
No, Battlefield's not what it used to be.
No,
I think
it's because of the auto regen. Like, you get shot, you go around the corner, like no limbs, and stuck on soil till your limbs go back.
Well, that's it.
Suddenly you're better to go.
That's it. It's the thing that they said they were going to add into the Call of Duties and add into the Battlefields was a bleed effect. And depending on where you were shot would depend on how fast you would bleed. And they never added it into any of them. So you could get shot once and then run around the corner, kill somebody, and then you'll just die because you bled out. And it's something they should add in. It makes the game more immersive. It makes it more challenging. It's a thing I've been feeling for a while, especially with competitive shooters. I just don't feel challenged anymore.
No.
Exactly.
No, that's the trouble.
It's basically every single shooter that's releasing now is paint by number gameplay. It's not. It doesn't take any ounce of skill or, it doesn't take any time to actually learn what to do.
No.
It's just you can instantly. They're going for the game where you can just pick it up and play, and maybe that's good for children and people that maybe not so good at games. But what about the people that actually want a challenge?
Yeah. Right. Has anybody got any topic that they want to discuss?
I'm just currently looking through Twitter right now.
Well, I mean, we've discussed a lot of what I listed down. What about the announcement today that Quantum Break's been delayed? What do people think about that?
It's official now?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, let's face it. Whenever a game's delayed, it's always a good thing because it was obviously delayed for a reason. It was broken. It won't be released like Battlefield 4 was. I mean, Battlefield 4 launch was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's supposed to be going to be getting better now because they're going to be adding the hardline netcode into Battlefield 4, but because it's free on EA Access, the amount of kids and trolls and everything that play Battlefield 4 it makes it unplayable.
Yeah, so. No, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, we've got so many great games dropping this year anyway. It was inevitable that something was going to be pushed back, and I'd rather Quantum Break was pushed back, to be honest with you, just to give it that polish, because, I mean, this got the potential of being a huge IP for Xbox. And, I mean, it's looking great now. I mean, the stuff that they're showing now looks fantastic. So, if they're pushing it, they're doing more work on it. I'm all for it. So I'm happy to wait. I just hope they don't do the same with the Division.
It was already pushed back, wasn't it? The Division was supposed to land early this year, and they pushed it back.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a game I'm definitely looking forward to. But I'd say the game I'm most looking forward to that is confirmed is definitely Star Wars Battlefront. After that, one it is confirmed, but isn't announced yet. Well, not so much announced, but they're not showing anything. Is Mass Effect 4. I really want to get my hands on Mass Effect 4, but we're just going to have to wait. And I'm praying to the Xbox gods that they show us something at E3.
Yeah. Here's something about Bungie. Not only has Joe Staten left, not only has Marty O'Donnell been fired, probably for standing up for the game not being destroyed, but the senior gameplay designer has now left to go join Bethesda. Because apparently he wants to make real games now.
It didn't pay for Bungie to leave Microsoft, did it?
No, it didn't. But the thing is, though, as terrible as Destiny is, it's up there with Call of Duty, like with the people that play it.
Oh yeah, it could have been a brilliant game had they not cut the content. If they had left the original story, because apparently one of the leaks said the reason they cut the story was because it was too predictable. Well, I'd rather have a predictable story than none at all.
Yeah, I'd say Battlefield Hardline story is predictable. That's just every cop drama I've ever seen. But I'm currently enjoying it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game. It's the only game where, even though it's predictable and cliche, I actually enjoy the characters that are in it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've had a good session here.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a topic.
Oh no, you can bring it up.
Have you heard about what Mortal Kombat's doing with their DLC?
Where
Predator, is it? No, you get to try out the DLC fighters who they're putting on before you actually purchase them. Now,
that's good.
Do you think more games like this should have it on? See, like Battlefield, where you get to use the new guns and the maps once or twice.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Definitely. Yeah. I think they'd definitely sell more if they did that.
Yeah.
I've got something. No Man's Sky, the thing people think is exclusive to PlayStation 4 from Hello Games.
Yeah.
Microsoft has said they would love to see No Man's Sky on the Xbox One. They think that Hello Games might be avoiding them due to the parity clause that Microsoft has, but says all you simply need to do is reach out and talk to us about it. But as I said a while back, and Aaron also said, was Hello Games actually had a flood, didn't they? And it was Microsoft that saved them. So
Microsoft paid for the studio to be rebuilt or something.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, well, why would they do that if, it's only going to be PlayStation exclusive? And the fact that Hello Games history seems to always be a year exclusive to PlayStation, then it comes to Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, they've never ruled it out fully, have they? And I must admit, after seeing the footage, it was a game I was really looking forward to. But
well, if you look at their own website, even though people are saying, oh, it's PlayStation exclusive, even on their own website, if you go to the news section, it still says platforms to be announced. They haven't revealed what platforms it's for officially.
Oh, it will come to Xbox at some stage. I mean, I remember them saying some time ago that it was only a timed exclusive on Xbox One. But the problem that game's got now, though, I was really looking forward to it, and it just looked like my type of game. But since then, Elite Dangerous has been announced.
Oh,
and that's going to be
incredible.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be miles better. I mean, I played the originals and they were fantastic. And Elite Dangerous just looks incredible. Sorry, go on.
The best thing about with that, if it is exclusive, No Man's Sky to PS4 for the first year, that's the same with Elite Dangerous. It's exclusive to Xbox for the first year. So if we're playing that, they're playing No Man's Sky. Eventually, after a year, it's going to get a bit old. It's basically like we're just switching games.
Yes.
But to be fair, I think I'd prefer to have Elite Dangerous.
Elite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
looks so much better game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's it was one of those games that I actually considered buying for the PC. Because as I say, I've had a history with the older games anyway, Elite and Elite Frontier. So to hear that was coming to Xbox One, that was sort of that was probably my most I don't know, probably the biggest announcement I've heard this year for me personally.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. But is that it? Is no more topics?
I think so.
All right.
How's that?
Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for you guys for joining in.
No problem.
Hopefully this takes off and we'll get some more videos out there. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.